Babrbo.
The second step is post the entries to the ledger accounts. My name is Dali Zamora Bornea, so let's continue the topic. Using account numbers for cross-reference and using journal page number 1, the following accounts will be needed. Cash, account number 110, accounts receivable, account number 120, medical supplies, account number 130, medical equipment, account number 140, notes payable, account number 210, accounts payable, account number 220, Babrbo capital, account number 310, Babrbo withdrawals, account number 320, medical revenues, account number 410, salary expense, account number 510, rent expense, account number 520, laboratory expense, account number 530, telephone expense, account number 540, and miscellaneous expense, account number 550. So let's go to the ledger account. It's Samuel Babrbo empty ledgers account. Our ledger account is based on our journal entry. So our journal account, ledger account, consists of account title, cash, account number, date, explanation, journal reference, debit, and the right side, date, explanation, journal reference, and credit. So March 1. So let's go back to journal entry. So as you can see, March 1, our cash is debited, which is 42,500. So let's go back to ledger account. Capital contribution of Samuel Babrbo, general journal page number 1, 42,500 debit. March 2, let's go back to journal entry. Our cash is credited 15,000. Let's go back to ledger account. Purchase of medical equipment. General journal page number 1. Credit 15,000. March 3. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cash here is credited 7,500. Let's go back to ledger account. It is the payment of rent. General journal page 1. Credited 7,500. March 7. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cash here, 18,450 is debited. Let's go back to ledger account. It is the earnings from medical services rendered. General journal page 1. 18,450 is debited. March 9. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cash here is credited, which is 1,800. It is the payment on laboratory. General Journal, page 1. 1,800 is credited. March 12. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cash here is debited. Oh, credited, I mean, which is 9,600. Payment of salaries. General Journal, page 1. 9,600 is credited. March 17. Let's go to journal entry. The cash here is credited, which is 3,750. Payments of accounts payable. General Journal, page 1. 3,750 is credited. March 20. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cash here is credited, which is 850. A telephone expense. Let's go back to ledger account. A payment on telephone. General Journal, page 1. 850 credited. March 21. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cash here is credited, which is 1,150. To record the miscellaneous expense, let's go back to ledger account. The payment on miscellaneous. General Journal, page 1. 1,150 is credited. March 22. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cash here is debited, which is 27,500. Cash received from patient. General Journal, page 2. 27,500 is debited. March 25. About the journal entry. Our cash here is credited, which is 11,200. The salaries expense. The payment of salaries. General Journal, page 2. 11,200. March 27. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cashier is credited, which is 6,150. Accounts payable. Let's go back to ledger account. Payment of account payable. General Journal, page 2. 6,150 is credited. March 28. Let's go back to journal entry. Our cash here is 15,000, which is credited. Babrbo withdrawals. Let's go back to ledger account. Cash withdrawals. General Journal, page 2. 15,000 is credited. The total debit is 88,450. The total credit is 72,000, which is the total debit minus the total credit equals to the balance of 16,450. So accounts title, accounts receivable, account number, date, March 15. Let's go back to journal entry. Accounts receivable, it's 51,700 debited. This cash received from patients for services rendered. General journal reference, general journal, page 1. Debit, 51,700. March 22. Let's go back to journal entry. Accounts receivable, 27,500. Back to ledger account. Cash received from patient billed on March 15. General journal, page 2. Credit, 27,500. March 26. Go back to journal entry. Accounts receivable, 40,150 debited. Cash received from patient for services rendered. General journal, page 2. 40,150 debit. The total debit is 91,850. And the total credit is 27,500. Accounts title, medical supplies, account number 130. Balance,
Padayon na lang.
64,000.
Sige, padayon na lang.
Wala na ako nasulti yung balance, ma'am.
Sige, padayon na lang.
Okay. Isulti pa na akong balance?
The balance for...
Ano to? Accounts receivable. Right?
Sige, go.
The balance for account receivable is 64,350. March 5. Payments of accounts payable. Go back to journal entry. Accounts payable credited 15,250. It's medical supplies. 15,250 debited. General journal, page 1. 15,250 debit. March 23. Let's go back to journal entry. Medical supplies, 9,100 is debit. So what's the ledger account? Payments of accounts payable. General journal page 2. Debit 9,100. The balance of the debit is 24,350. Account title, medical equipment. Account number 140. Date, March 2. Let's go back to journal entry. Medical equipment, debit 95,000. Go back to ledger account. Loans from creditors for the remainder of medical equipment acquired. General journal, page 1. Debit 95,000. The balance of the debit is 95,000. That could be all. Thank you. The continuation of my report, which is about liabilities, the continuation of ledger, which is will be discussed by Maria Camille Caro.